500 years ago, a man named Niccolò Machiavelli wrote words so dangerous that his name became synonymous with cunning itself. He didn't write fairy tales about how the world should work. He wrote the brutal manual for how it actually does. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. This isn't philosophy for the comfortable. This isn't wisdom for the naive. This is the operating system of reality, the code that runs beneath every throne, every boardroom, every relationship where one person leads and another follows. Today you learn to see the world as it truly is, not as you wish it were. A prince must be both lion and fox. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. Power exists in two forms, force and cunning. The amateur relies on one. The master wields both. The lion in you is your capacity for strength, for direct action, for the moments when subtlety fails and only decisive force will suffice. But the lion, for all its power, can be trapped by those who think faster. The fox in you is your ability to see through deception, to navigate complexity, to win through intelligence when strength alone would fail. But the fox, for all its cleverness, can be devoured by those who act with greater force. The modern prince understands. Adapt your nature to the nature of the challenge. When dealing with honorable people, be honorable. When facing deception, be cunning. When confronted with aggression, be stronger. When surrounded by politics, be more political. This isn't hypocrisy. This is survival. This is effectiveness. This is the difference between those who shape reality and those who are shaped by it. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Machiavelli's most misunderstood truth. He didn't say be cruel. He said be respected. Love is voluntary. It can be withdrawn at any moment for any reason or for no reason at all. Fear is rational. It responds to demonstrated capability, to proven consequences, to the reality of what you can do. But here's the deeper wisdom. The best leaders inspire both. They are loved for their vision, their protection, their genuine care for those they lead. And they are feared for their competence, their decisiveness, their willingness to make the hard choices others cannot. People must know that crossing you has consequences, but following you has rewards. This isn't about being liked. This is about being effective. A leader who is only loved becomes soft, manipulable, unable to make difficult decisions. A leader who is only feared becomes isolated, paranoid, ultimately overthrown. The master understands. Respect is the synthesis of love and fear. Earn it through competence, maintain it through consistency, and wield it with wisdom. The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, and the world consists chiefly of the vulgar. Public perception is not reality, but it shapes reality. The most virtuous leader who appears corrupt will struggle to lead. The most cunning strategist who appears virtuous will find doors opening everywhere. Machiavelli didn't advocate for actual deception. He advocated for understanding that appearance and reality operate by different rules. You must be master of both what you are and what you seem to be. In private, be ruthlessly honest with yourself about your motives, your capabilities, your limitations. Study power, understand human nature, develop your strategic mind without moral pretense. In public, embody the virtues that inspire others to follow. Integrity, wisdom, strength, compassion. Not as a facade, but as the face you choose to show a world that judges by surfaces. The profound truth: when you consistently act virtuous in public, you slowly become virtuous in private. The mask becomes the face. The performance becomes the person. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Power corrupts, but not in the way most people think. Power doesn't make you evil, it makes you surrounded. Everyone wants something from you. Everyone has an agenda. Everyone tells you what they think you want to hear. The prince's greatest danger isn't external enemies, it's internal corruption through bad counsel. Your mind is your kingdom. Guard its borders jealously. Seek advisors who have nothing to gain from lying to you. Create systems where truth-telling is rewarded and flattery is punished. Build inner circles based on competence, not comfort. But most importantly, preserve sacred time for solitude. Time when no one can influence you, petition you, or distract you from your own thoughts. In this space, you develop the most crucial relationship of all, the one with your unfiltered self. The leader who cannot bear to be alone with their thoughts will inevitably be controlled by others' thoughts. Never was anything great achieved without danger. Predictable leaders become manageable leaders. When your enemies know exactly how you'll respond, they can manipulate those responses to their advantage. But unpredictability isn't randomness, it's calculated variance. It's showing different faces to different situations while maintaining your core strategic direction. Keep your methods flexible and your principles firm. Sometimes be generous, sometimes be severe. Sometimes move quickly, sometimes wait. Sometimes engage directly. Sometimes work through others, but always in service of your larger vision. Your opponents should never be certain which version of you they're going to encounter. This uncertainty creates space for you to maneuver, to negotiate, to strike when conditions are optimal. The master strategist is like water, taking the shape required by the moment while never losing the essential nature that defines them. Fortune is like a river that floods. When calm, you can build dikes and channels to control it. But when it rages, you can only try to survive it. Machiavelli understood that success isn't just about skill, it's about the intersection of preparation and opportunity. The same action that succeeds brilliantly in one context fails catastrophically in another. The wise prince studies the currents of his time. What worked for your predecessors may not work for you. What works for you today may not work for you tomorrow. Contexts shift, technologies evolve, generational values change, economic conditions fluctuate. Your strategies must be built for the world as it is becoming, not as it was. But here's the deeper wisdom. While you cannot control fortune, you can position yourself to benefit from it. You can develop capabilities that will be valuable across multiple scenarios. You can build relationships that will endure through changing times. You can cultivate adaptability as your greatest asset. When fortune smiles, be ready to act decisively. When fortune frowns, be ready to endure patiently, but always be ready. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. Greatness exacts a toll that the comfortable never pay. To lead effectively, you must make decisions that others cannot. You must bear responsibilities that others will not. You must see truths that others prefer to ignore. This creates inevitable isolation. The higher you rise, the fewer people can understand the view from where you stand. The more power you wield, the fewer people can relate to the weight of that responsibility. The prince must be comfortable with being misunderstood. Your motivations will be questioned. Your methods will be criticized. Your successes will be attributed to luck, and your failures will be seen as personal flaws. This is the tax that leadership pays to reality. But within this isolation lies your strength. When you no longer need others' approval to feel valuable, you can make decisions based on effectiveness rather than popularity. When you accept that greatness requires sacrifices that others won't make, you stop expecting others to understand your choices. The lonely path leads to the highest peaks. Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. But here's what Machiavelli never said in The Prince. The ultimate goal isn't to be feared. It's to be so competent, so effective, so genuinely concerned with the welfare of those you lead, that fear becomes unnecessary. The greatest leaders transcend the choice between love and fear by earning something deeper. Trust. Trust is love verified by experience. Trust is fear made irrelevant by results. When people trust you, they don't need to love you to follow you, and they don't need to fear you to respect you. They follow you because your track record proves that following you leads to better outcomes than not following you. This is the master's paradox. You study power to transcend the crude use of power. You learn manipulation to make manipulation unnecessary. You understand fear so that you can lead through something better than fear. Machiavelli wrote, "The prince not to create tyrants, but to create effective leaders in a world that devours the ineffective." His wisdom isn't about becoming ruthless, it's about becoming real. Real about human nature. Real about power dynamics. Real about the gap between ideals and implementation. Real about what it actually takes to create positive change in a complex, often hostile world. The prince is not a person, it's a mindset. It's a way of seeing clearly, thinking strategically, and acting effectively. You don't need a crown to think like royalty. You don't need an army to understand strategy. You don't need enemies to recognize that life itself is competitive, that resources are finite, that choices have consequences, and that the naive are often defeated by those who understand the game better. Every negotiation is a small kingdom. Every relationship has power dynamics. Every career involves politics. Every dream requires strategy to become reality. The question isn't whether you'll encounter Machiavellian dynamics, it's whether you'll understand them well enough to navigate them successfully. In a world of princes, be the prince. In a world of subjects, teach them to think like princes. The profound truth Machiavelli never stated directly but understood completely. The goal of mastering power isn't to dominate others. It's to become so skilled at the game that you can help others learn to play it well too. That's how you build not just a kingdom, but a world of kings. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are, and those few will not dare to oppose themselves to the opinion of the many. The question is, who will you choose to really be?